Well students, myself Professor Rainu Gupta, Dean School of Education, teaching at Sanskriti University for B.Ed, M.Ed, B.A. B.Ed, B.Sc B.Ed, and we are dealing with the education aspect. So today we will discuss about the models of curriculum. Curriculum is an important part of the teaching learning process, as we know that education revolves around three aspects. First, the most important aspect is the aims and objectives or goals of education. Second aspect is the curriculum, and the third aspect is the evaluation. So today we will discuss about the curriculum. As we know that curriculum was come from the Latin word currere, C-U-R-R-E-R-E, means to run a race. It means it is a path on which we will run to achieve the goal. That is why the curriculum is a very important part on which our government, our teachers, educators, our students should concentrate. So that is why today we will discuss about different models of curriculum. As you can see, it came from the Latin word means running course. After that, Scotland introduced it in 1603 as the meaning carriageway or road. United States said in 1906 that it is a course of study. United States again in 1940 changes its meaning, that is plan for learning, because as according to NEP 2020, we believe in not in teacher-centered education, we believe in learner-centered education or the student-centered education or the child-centered education. So that is why United States in 1940 changed its meaning from course of study to plan for learning, because learning relates with the students. Then how we can frame the curriculum? So what is a model? A model is a format for curriculum design developed to meet unique. You have to concentrate needs, context and or purposes. Whom needs? Needs of the children, needs of the society, needs of the education system, so that we are to incorporate those courses or those topics which will fulfill the needs of the society and as well as the needs of the children. Context here we mean with reference to the society, with reference to the evaluation, with reference to the learning process, with reference to the evaluation process, with reference to the employment process. So in that way we are to keep in mind the context and or purposes. So why we are making the curriculum? What is the purpose behind it? What objectives we are to fulfill? Because curriculum is a source to fulfill the objectives of any subject. In order to address these goals, curriculum developer design, reconfigure or rearrange one or more key curriculum components. First they design, then again, because at one moment we can't design the perfect curriculum, so that is why first they prepare the design, then they reconfigure or rearrange. It means by doing many efforts we will rearrange the topics, that first from easy to difficult, from simple to complex. In that way we are to develop the curriculum. Now what is the curriculum model? There are some key curriculum components. First one is the content. First we are to decide that what type of content we are to include in the curriculum. We are to select from the different sources that how much content according to the level of the students, according to the grade of the students, we should include it. Then assessment, what type of assessment techniques we are to follow for the curriculum. First chapter will start, every chapter will start from the introduction, that In introduction, the meaning of the basic concept should be included. Then how we will adopt the teaching process, how the students will learn it, and this is the end product. What type of end product we will get after the curriculum designing. Then what are the resources? Because we can't depend upon one book or one chapter. What are the different resources from which we can collect the content related to that curriculum? Then we are grouping all the chapters that from as I have told you, simple to complex, easy to difficult, and then extensions. Because without extension, we can't say that our curriculum is the perfect one, and after doing all these things, then we need the modifications. Because we never say that this curriculum is the perfect one or there is no need of any change in the curriculum. Every time, because curriculum relates with the society. When there is change in the society, when there is change in the needs of the children, accordingly we have to modify the curriculum. That is why this modification part is much important for the curriculum development. Then there are different perspectives on which the model of the curriculum should depend. First one is the according to the focus. Focus here means on which we are to lay focus, that is student centered. Because for whom we are making the curriculum? We are making the curriculum for the students. So that is why we are to frame the curriculum keeping in mind the needs of the student. That is why the integrated curriculum model should be developed so that the normal children, below normal children, as well as the gifted learner can get some knowledge from that curriculum. Then broad field curriculum. Different fields are there, as we can say the fields of agriculture, the field of education, the field of medicine, because nowadays we believe in integrated curriculum. So accordingly we are to involve different fields in the curriculum. Then according to approach, two types of approach we can keep in mind, that is the traditional approach or the innovative approach. In the traditional approach, we make the teacher-centered curriculum. We keep in mind that how the teacher will communicate with the students with the help of the curriculum. But nowadays, it has been changed from teacher-centered to the student-centered. That is why now we are to make the innovative curriculum so that the students, we can make the students more and more innovative. They can search at their own because we believe in constructivism. So that is why the students can construct their own knowledge while learning about the curriculum. So that is why we are to opt this approach, that is the innovative approach, to frame the curriculum. Now according to content, as we have already discussed, the first and foremost part of the curriculum model is the content. The content can be the topic based or it can be the competency based. So accordingly we are to decide that we should make the curriculum on the basis of the topics 1, 2, 3, 4, or we can say the competency first, which competency we are to develop, after that which competency we are to develop. So we can prescribe the content matter accordingly, the topic based or the competency based. According to the process. Process here means, as the second aspect in the curriculum model was evaluation, assessment. So assessment can be of two types, that is formative assessment and the summative assessment. So we have to develop the content accordingly, because formative deals with the learning for assessment and summative deals with the learning of assessment. So accordingly we keep in mind that topic one by one the students are to study, and from each topic, from each competency, they are to develop their learning accordingly. At the last, the summative evaluation will be there. So in the summative evaluation, that is the learning of assessment, assessment of learning. So in the summative evaluation, how the students are capable to develop different types of competency on the basis of the curriculum. The third part is according to the structure. The structure here we mean three types of structure we believe in, that is system structure, linear structure or cyclic structure. Here you can see that system structure. Accordingly, we are to see that for first year, for second year, for third year, for fourth year, what type of knowledge we are to provide to the student. So this believes in the system structure. Linear structure, here we can start and accordingly we can develop and go on so that the every type of capability can be developed till the end of the graduation course. Then the cyclic structure. Cyclic structure was developed by Cobbs. Cobbs start from this concrete experiences, because first Cobbs believe in that with the help of the curriculum we are to provide different types of curriculum. We are to provide different types of experiences to the student. So first the concrete experiences should be provided by seeing different objects. The students can develop the knowledge. Then reflection of the observation. Then they can see the concrete objects and on the basis of the observation, the reflection will be developed among the student. Then abstract conceptualization. This is believe in higher order of thinking. Now they can imagine according to their intelligence some conceptualization. Then active experimentation. Accordingly, they can go for the experimentation. So this is the Cobbs cycle of experiential learning, as it was also described in NEP 2020, that nowadays we are not to provide the theoretical learning or theoretical knowledge to the students, we are to provide the experiential learning to the students. So it means the Cobbs cycle, we are to opt the Cobbs cycle to frame the curriculum of different levels. Now we will discuss, because there are different types of models given by different educationists. The important model was given by Tyler, known as the Tyler model, and the complete name of the Tyler was Ralph Tyler. Ralph Tyler model, which was given in 1949, revolves around 4 questions. The first and foremost question is, what educational purposes should the school seek to attain? So that is why the education commissions, first of all, they prepare the educational purposes. As you can say that our education system revolves around a triangle. The first and foremost part is the goal, that what type of goals we are taking to clear the graduation, to clear the secondary level, to clear the senior secondary level or any type of level of the students. So it means the foremost part is the for what purpose they are getting the education. Nowadays, it should be clear to the student that why they are studying medicine, why they are studying education, why they are studying agriculture, why they are studying engineering. So it means their purpose should be clarified. To fulfill this purpose, the second aspect, the most important aspect is the curriculum, or we can say the learning experiences. The curriculum will be in the hands of the teacher as well as in the hands of the students. Teacher will organize this curriculum in such a way so that the students will be able to gain the learning experiences in an effective way. The third part is the evaluation. So that is why this triangle goes in this way. It can't go in this way. It will be the wrong direction. So that is why every time this triangle will work in this way. First the purpose will be fixed, then the curriculum will be framed, and then the evaluation system will be opted as given in the Tyler model. First and foremost question is the what educational purposes should the school seek to attain. The second aspect, which I have told you in the triangle, that is educational experiences. Then what educational experiences can be provided that are likely to attain these purposes? Here the main aspect of framing the curriculum, selection of the content, organization of the content, that comes here. That what type of educational experiences the teacher will provide to the student, or the student will gain the educational experiences so that they can evaluate that for which purpose they are getting the education, that purpose is fulfilled or not. And these educational experiences should be in the organized way, from easy to difficult, from simple to complex, from concrete to abstract. So there are some principles on which this educational experience should be organized. The last part is, how can we determine whether these purposes are being attained? That is the third part in the triangle, that is the evaluation part. That in the evaluation, that is why nowadays we can say, as NAC is also saying, that we are to see whether the course outcomes we can attain or not. This can possible only with the help of the evaluation system, and this evaluation system can be in the formative aspect or it can be in the summative aspect. After this Tyler model, this basic principles, purpose of the school, educational experiences, organization and evaluation of the experiences. In answering these Tyler's question, we arrive at these basic aspects of the curriculum development. That is the selection of aims, goals and objectives, then selection of learning experiences and content. If our content will be the perfect one, it means the students can gain the good learning experiences. If our content is not the good one, the students will not be able to attain the learning experiences, which that experiences are based on these goals, objectives and aims. The third step is the organization of learning experiences in a sequence. It means if we put the hard learning experiences at primary level, it means the students will be afraid of the education. They don't come to school to get the education. So that is why, keeping in mind the intelligence level of the student, needs of the student, we are to organize the learning experiences on the basis of the grades. Then the fourth step is the evaluation of the extent to which these objectives have been achieved. If this extent is the perfect one, that we have achieved the objectives for which we have framed the curriculum, so it means our curriculum is the good one. But if by the evaluation we know that we are not able to achieve these objectives for which this curriculum was developed, so it means we are to do some modification, as you have seen in the key aspects of the curriculum development. So it means these four steps are basic because they can be more than 4. This is the curriculum planning aspect. As I have told you that our curriculum is based on the society, because to whom we are teaching the curriculum? The students are learning the curriculum and students came from the society. So that is why society is the foremost part in the curriculum development. So when we are plan the curriculum, first and foremost thing that we are to keep in mind the needs of the society. As we can take the example, previously the digital resources were not there. In the curriculum, the digital resources were not included. But now the society needs that my children should get the knowledge about the digital resources. My children should get the knowledge about the computer. My children should get the knowledge about the artificial intelligence. So accordingly, we are to include those courses, those topics in the curriculum. So that is why the society needs are the foremost. So society leads with the different sources. Different sources means society from the culture of the society, from the traditions of the society, from the needs of the society, from the future of the society. So there are different sources on the basis of which we develop the objectives. And these objectives can be fulfilled only with the help of the subject matter. And the main source of the society, as I have already told you, that our curriculum should be learner oriented. So that is why, keeping in mind the needs of the learner, keeping in mind the objectives of the learner, and nowadays the learner is not related with any society. Learner is not related with any nation. Learner is related with the whole world. So that is why we are to keep in mind the needs of the learner on the basis of the whole world, not on the basis of the one country or one state or the one city. The second part is the philosophy. As we believe in pragmatism, we believe in idealism, we believe in Vedanta, we believe in existentialism. So there are different types of philosophies. So which philosophy we are to keep the base for the curriculum planning that the educationist should keep in mind. So it means on the basis of the philosophy, on the basis of the objectives, then the content matter will be developed. We are to screen that which philosophy we are to believe in, and with the philosophy we are to keep in mind the psychology also, because there is direct link between the learner and the psychology. Psychology deals with the behavior of the learner. Psychology deals with the modification of the behavior of the learner. So that is why we are to keep in first, originally the psychology was included in the philosophy. But in the 20th century, the psychology came as a separate discipline from the philosophy. Earlier it was the part and parcel of the philosophy. So on the basis of all these, we are to frame the instructional objectives. Nowadays, these instructional objectives have been changed into behavioral objectives. Why it is so? Because instruction, who provides the instruction? The teacher provides the instruction. So that is why here we believe in teacher-centered education. But now, in the 21st century, we believe in learner-centered education. So these instructional objectives should be changed into behavioral objective, that after the completion of this curriculum, of this course, what type of behavior will be of the learner. So that is why the behavioral objective should be included. Then the next part is selection of learning experiences. So what type of learning experiences, as the Tyler has already said, that what type of learning experiences we are to provide, that should be selected. Then the organization according to the grade level, according to the difficulty level, according to the child level, according to the education level. So different levels are there. Accordingly we are to organize the learning experiences. Then we are to evaluate that whether these objectives, whether the needs of the society, whether the needs of the learner have been attained or not. So this is the curriculum planning. That here the curriculum design involves these two aspects, and the curriculum evaluation deals with this evaluation aspect. So this curriculum planning relates or follows the basic principles as given by the Ralph Tyler. The next model, which is very, very important, was given by Hilda Taba. Hilda Taba was an architect, a curriculum theorist, a curriculum reformer, and a teacher educator. She introduced the progressive education ideas because she says that the Tyler model was the industrialist model or the management model. But then she wrote a book, that is Curriculum Development Theory and Practice, in 1962. Today also we believe in the principles of Hilda Taba for the curriculum development. The Taba model was based on definite order in creating a curriculum. She believed that teachers who teach the curriculum should participate in developing it. Why it is so? Because teachers have the real experiences with the students. Accordingly, they can suggest that what type of modifications are required in the curriculum. So that is why she says that it is called the grassroots approach. Why it is called the grassroots approach? Because grass is related with the earth, and in the curriculum, the earth is the students as well as the teachers. So that is why they say when the student suggestions, when the teacher suggestions will be incorporated in the curriculum, so that curriculum will be the perfect one. In the grassroots model, she provided 7 major steps in which the teachers would have the major input. She believes, as she was also the teacher educator, that is why she believed that the teachers can frame the perfect curriculum. She was of the opinion that Tyler model was more of an administrative model. So that is why she gave another model that is based on grassroots approach. 7 steps are there. The first step is diagnosis of learners' needs and expectations of the larger society. That is also the same, but in the Tyler model, the first aspect is framing the objectives or the purposes. But here, the first aspect is we are to diagnose the needs of the learner as well as the expectations of the larger society, because the learners are coming from the society. As the society thinks that my learner should know about this thing, my learner should know about this thing. Nowadays, society don't believe in the traditional approach of learning. So that is why they say that nowadays some activity-centered curriculum should be developed so that the learner will be happy when he or she goes to the school. So that is why the learner need should be diagnosis. That is the first and foremost step. On the basis of these needs and the expectations of the society, then the next step comes the formulation of learning objectives. So these objectives will be based on the needs of the learner, not the needs of the educationist, not the needs of the the teachers. It should be based on the needs of the learner. Then this again the new aspect, that is selection of the learning content. Now we are to decide that what type of content we are to include in the curriculum, what type of topics should be included, what type of subject matter should be included, what type of activities should be included, what type of learning experiences should be included. So every type of selection should be there, and this selection of the learning content is based on certain principles, as we can say principle of community centeredness, principle of child centeredness, principle of forward looking, principle of organization, principle of activity centered, principle of interest. So there are different principles on the basis of which we are to give the selection of the learning content. If it will not be organized in a proper way, it means it will remain in the haphazard way. This was the third aspect in the Hilda Tyler model, but in the Hilda Taba model, it is the fourth aspect, that is the organization of the learning content. After the organization, Hilda Taba believes that the selection of the learning experiences. Now the content is ready. According to the content, we are to select what type of activities should be included, what type of case studies should be included, what type of projects should be included, what type of society matters should be included, what type of community activity should be included. So it means here we are to select that what type of learning experiences and how these learning experience should be provided to the learner. Then these learning experiences should be organized from the simple to complex, from the easy to difficult, as it should also be based on certain principles. Then the last step is determination of what to evaluate and the means of doing it. Here we are to evaluate each and every aspect. We are to evaluate the project of the students. We are to evaluate the case studies done by the students. We are to evaluate the knowledge aspect of the student. We are to evaluate the application aspect of the student. We are to evaluate the analysis aspect of the student. We are to evaluate as given by the Bloom taxonomy. Here we are to determine, because at the primary level, we can't evaluate the higher level thinking aspect of the student. So that is why Hilda Taba believes that according to the levels, we are to determine what to evaluate and the means of doing it, whether it should be in the oral form, whether it should be in the quiz form, whether it should be in the written form, whether it should be objective type, whether it should be subjective type. So it means then after the framing of the curriculum, we have to decide that whether we have achieved these objectives or not. We have to decide what type of means we are to use for testing that whether these learning objectives are achieved or not, or whether the needs of the learner are fulfilled or not, as well as the expectations of the society are fulfilled or not. Because nowadays society is the part and parcel of the education system, because society is the stakeholder of the education system. So we are to fulfill the expectations of the society. Then the Taba model, it was an inductive approach for the curriculum development, whereas the main things in the Taba's model was teacher input, because she gave much importance that when we are framing the curriculum, the teacher's input should be incorporated in the curriculum. So first we have to diagnose the needs, then formulation of objectives, then selection of content, then organization of content, then selection of learning activities, organization of learning activities, then evaluation. You can see that teacher input is the around this. It means at every aspect the teacher input is required. So this is the detailed, as I have already explained, that how we can diagnose the needs of the students, expectations of the society, how we can formulate the objectives. These objectives can be the specific objectives to be accomplished, because objectives are of two types, general objectives and specific objectives. When we are framing the curriculum of any specific subject, of any specific course, so it means these will be called the course objectives or the specified objectives of that course. And if we take the general objectives will be included all the curriculum of different courses at the graduation level, at the different levels. Selection of the content can be include the relevant content. If we are including irrelevant content in the curriculum, it means the interest of the students will not be created in the content matter. So we should keep in mind that the significance of the content, that it should be relevant as well as it should be significant. Organization of the content, it should be based on the maturity of the learner. At the primary level, we are to organize in the different way. At the secondary level, we are to organize a different way. At the higher education level, we can organize the subject matter in a different way. It is based on the maturity of the learner and their academic achievement. Then selection of the learning experiences, that is based on the objectives. That student must be engaged with the content. It means the activity-centered curriculum should be framed. Then organization of learning activities, it should be organized from the simple to complex, because if in the start we will provide the complex learning activity, again the interest of the students will not be created in the curriculum aspect. Then the evaluation and the means of the evaluation, the curriculum framer should decide that what type of evaluation techniques he should incorporate. In this way, we can say that Taba believed that to evolve a theory of curriculum development and a method of thinking about it, one needs to ask what demands and requirements of whom? Of the culture as well as of the society, both for the present and the future. So it means we should keep in mind the culture as well as the society. And on the other hand, we have to keep in mind the past, because past gives us only the experiences. On the basis of those experiences, we have to frame the curriculum for the present, keeping in mind the future, because in the future they are to go in the market to apply their knowledge what they have gained with the help of the curriculum. So that is why the future aspect should be included in that curriculum. In this way, curriculum is a way of preparing young people to participate in our culture. If our curriculum will be the perfect one, as nowadays we believe that the India's culture is the best culture. If they don't get the knowledge about that culture from their curriculum, it means they will not be able to know about the India's culture. As UGC has also said, nowadays that the Indian education system should be included in the curriculum. So it means it will provide the knowledge about the culture of the India. Now, what is the application of the Taba model? It is currently used in the most of the curriculum design. As I have told you, we are not using the Rylov model. We are using the Taba model when we are framing the curriculum. 5 steps are there: identifying the needs, developing objectives, selecting instructional methods, then organizing learning experiences. This is the different part from the rifle model, and evaluating. So it means here you can see that it is in the verb form: identifying, developing, selecting, organizing, evaluating, because it is based on the Bloom taxonomy. So that is why Taba model is more applicable than the earlier models. What are the strengths of, or we can say what is the importance of Taba model, why we are opting this model to frame the curriculum design? It gives teachers a greater role, because at every aspect she believes that teacher input is required to frame the curriculum. She uses the inductive method. What we mean by inductive method? That first we are to describe the examples, and then on the basis of the examples, the students will be able to understand the generalization. And for generalization, they are not believe in rote memorization. It will be based on their experiences. That is why her model is very, very effective model. Then teacher approach is used. Why teacher approach? Because she believes that teacher is the foremost part of the teaching learning process. She notes that teachers are aware of the students' needs, because in real life there is direct contact between the teacher and the student. So that is why they can give good suggestions for the development of the learners. Then she says that curriculum as a plan for learning, because it is learner centered, it is child centered, it is student centered. Curriculum is nothing, it is a plan for learning. As I can quote you one quotation, that curriculum is a tool in the hands of an artist to mold his material according to his ideals in his studio. It is very, very effective quotation. Here we can say the curriculum. What is the curriculum? It is a tool. For what? It is a tool in the hands of an artist. Here artist means teacher. It is a tool in the hands of a teacher to mold his material. Here what do you mean by material? Here material are students or the learners. So it means it is the function of the teacher, is the responsibility of the teacher to mold his students. And what is the base? Base is the ideals. Here ideals means this is the ideal. This is the ideal. Goals and purposes. So it means the teacher can mold his learners according to the goals, according to the purposes. And what is the studio? For the artist it is the studio. For the teacher, what is the studio? This is the school. This is the society. So it means curriculum is very, very important in the hands of the teacher. And the same thing told by the Hilda Taba, that it is a plan for the learning. Gives importance to objectives in order to establish a sense of purpose for deciding what to include, that what type of Content matter should be included. What type of content matter should be excluded according to the needs of the learner, according to the expectations of the society, and emphasized in a curriculum. What content matter should be emphasized? What is the significance of the content matter? What is the important content matter according to the interest of the student, according to the level of the student, that should be included in the curriculum. So that is why Taba model is very, very effective for the framing of the curriculum. So thus, at the end, a good curriculum can change the face and fate of a nation. If the curriculum is the perfect one, it means the nation will go in the development direction. If the curriculum, we are not able to frame the curriculum in a good way, in an effective way, in an interesting way, incorporating all the things, providing all the learning experiences, it means the fate of the nation will be demolished. So that is why curriculum is an important aspect. Accordingly, when we are framing the curriculum, we should keep in mind the principles of curriculum construction, principles of organization, learning experiences, everything should be included in the curriculum. Thank you.